It's another week and another brand new episode of the Granny Panty Podcast. I'm your host, RubyLynne. I want you to hit the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I have new episodes. And I do a premiere every other Tuesday with a new guest. So if you'd like to follow the Granny Panty Podcast, hit subscribe here. You can also go to thegrannypantypodcast.com. If you'd like to follow me, RubyLynne, your host, you can go to IamRubyLynne.com. It's all things Ruby. This week's guest is someone I'm really excited to chat with. He is a lot more complex than you think. While he's a beautiful human who does some amazing performances, there's just a lot more there. And I'm excited to find out what really makes him tick. So help me welcome the iconic Tommy Gunn. Mr. Tommy Gunn, I am so excited to have you on the show this week. I feel like I've been chasing you around here maybe for about the last year to get you on the show.
Is that right? Is that right? Well, you got me, so it was worth.
Yes.
It was worth your pursuit. So I appreciate your persistence.
Yes, it was. I think I'd reached out to you on Twitter, and then at X3 a few months ago, I saw you on the floor, and I went hustling down there and introduced myself. I thought, I'm not going to let you get away.
Not again. No, can't let me slip through your fingers, right?
No. So I have followed your work for a really long time. We are actually about the same age. You have a birthday coming up in May, correct?
That is correct. May 13th, to be exact. Yeah, I'll be 57, which I never imagined I would make it this far. But hey, I'm doing something right. I'm staying out of trouble and staying away from danger. I'm trying to stay healthy, so working.
Awesome. Well, I can say that 57 has been amazing. So I welcome you to the club.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, another month or so. Where are we at? April, a month and a few days.
It's April. Yeah, it's April.
Yeah. Yep.
So 30 years in the business, the adult business.
30,
correct?
20 in the adult, triple X, we'll call it, and then 10 prior to that as like a Chippendale style male review dancer. For 10 years, I traveled to, pretty much most of the country and different parts of the world to dance and entertain women like the Chippendales. So that was definitely an interesting experience, so to say the least.
I can only imagine.
So adding up, that's 30 years, and it went so fast, and it's hard to believe. So it's hard to believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
So you were a Chippendale dancer, huh? Gosh, maybe I saw you. Who knows? I remember going to those male reviews.
Yeah, I mean, they're traditional, if you have a birthday or a bachelorette party or even a divorce party or just a girls' night out, why not, right? Go and see the guys entertain them ladies.
Yeah, I do think mine was it was a bridal party. I believe that. Yeah, that's true.
Nice.
But so, I mean, we pretty much know about your work. I kind of want to know about current day Tommy.
Current day
living
Tommy.
In the mountains of Colorado. When did you move there?
I've only been here about 3 years now, and I want to say my last, I guess, address was in Vegas. I lived there for, actually I'm from New Jersey, and at 29 I moved from New Jersey to Florida, which is, I believe, what a lot of East Coasters do. Whether it's New York or Jersey in that area, the first they decide, let's get away from the cold, they go south. So right down the East Coast to Florida, I went there, spent about 7 years there, and then from there I came out to Las Vegas, and then California, and resided in California for about 18 years, and then went back to Vegas and ended up in Colorado now. So yeah,
You probably got tired of the rat race, huh?
well, I think it's one of those things that in moderation it works because you know it's nice to be up here and have this separation from that rat race, but sometimes I get cabin fever, if you will. Like, man, I want to go back down the hill to society and get back to trying to, get some of these aspirations I have and going because it's hard to do that from a mountain retreat. So, you know, got to get out.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. I wondered, after such a fast-paced career in life, do you find it isolating?
Yeah, up here, absolutely. Which is nice though because it's a good balance. So, at the moment, I kind of divide my time between Colorado and then back in Los Angeles and Las Vegas. So
Mhm.
so it works. By the time I get
Yeah.
anxious here, it's time to go back down the hill and be in Las Vegas in California. But then by the time I go there and I'm like, okay, I had enough of this. I'm back to here, and then I get so
It's the best of both lives. So that's what I hope in retirement is to have a vacation home and,
yeah.
beach. I'm a beach girl.
Well, truth be told, I'm all of the above. I love the beach. I love the mountains. I love the desert. I love the ocean and being out there on the water and stuff. And so my father's in Florida. I may end up going there and spending winters there. I think I might snowbird there. He's older, so
Mhm.
it's it's time I go and spend. I guess, for lack of better words, his later years with him as often as
Yeah,
possible because you never know what's going to happen. So we can't.
that's true. Especially as I age and the more funerals that I have
Yeah,
to attend, I think about my own mortality.
it's true. It's absolutely true, and
Yeah.
it's daunting to some capacity, but you got to, it just comes with the. It's part of the part of the thing, right? It's part of the life.
Yeah.
So
So you mentioned something. You said your aspirations. I want to talk about your current day projects that you have going, but I love watching on Twitter you play your music.
yeah.
And what role does music play in your aspirations?
Well, it doesn't. There is no I want to be a rock star or be in a guitar or be in a band by and playing a guitar. I mean, that would be lovely, but I did a lot of that
Mhm.
as a younger guy in my 20s and stuff. I was a bass player in a band with my brother and his friend, and it was kind of like a high school garage band type thing, and we were going to be stars one day, and it never happened, but that's okay. That's okay.
Well, you were a star, just of a
Yeah,
different kind.
a different nature. So and I just picked up the guitar in the last year or so, more or less, just to kind of keep myself in the present moment. Uh, you know, when I get the urge to be like, oh, I got to tinker around with something, I pick up the guitar, and you forget about yesterday, and you don't think about tomorrow. You're just in the moment playing the guitar, and that's been fun. And I'm by no stretch a virtuoso, but I enjoy it. I'll look on YouTube and get some instructional guitar lessons, and you know,
Mhm.
have some fun. So that's what I do. Plus,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm good with my fingers and my hands, and it's eye coordination, and it's challenging. So it's been quite the it's quite the pastime little hobby, I guess you call it. But that's not playing into any of my aspirations. You know I've always wanted to. I guess as a kid in high school growing up,
Mhm.
and even before that, when my father took me to the big screen movies, I was in awe of this this super screen and watching these people. For example, one of those is Sylvester Stallone, and Rocky.
Oh, yes.
Yes, everyone's favorite. So that's kind of like an image that I I saw and could relate and said, well, I want to be like that guy. And uh, so I always have in the background some acting aspirations, and kind of got that's what happened when I got into the adult industry later in my life. I
Mhm.
I thought, you know, I could either go in the mainstream direction and get lost in the shuffle because it was such a big ocean, if you can imagine.
Right.
Or I could go into the adult world because I've already been in it quite kind of as an entertainer in the in that Magic Mike Chippendale style esque world. And I figured if I just kept that that direction, I went into the adult version, the adult. I could maybe create a name for myself, which I could then maybe use that name and some of that cachet, in the Hollywood world when they said, "Hey, we're trying to fill these shoes, looking for somebody who may have a name or so." And it worked.
Right.
I appeared on Entourage and some other mainstream projects and stuff. So
Yeah,
that's really my big
I
goal.
saw that.
I'd like to be behind the camera and in front as well, but in producing and developing movies and projects and stuff. I've always enjoyed the entertainment business and the process that it requires to get a project going from from what do you call it, conception to reality and there.
Right.
And
Right.
I love the
And so are you working?
yeah, I still,
Are you working on any mainstream
not
right now?
present day, but we're in the it's a process. So I have two partners of mine, and one of them's located in Toronto, Canada, and another one's in the UK. But we just got off the phone call today and developed talking about how things are slowly getting more in line, and the time is coming where it's gonna be happening, and we're gonna be doing it, and it's all a process, and unfortunately,
Right.
it takes time. But I guess
Yeah.
gotta just go.
Time and funding, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
funding, all the above, and they're all converging, which is great. So that's important, you know.
Will this be a movie or a TV series?
Well, movie, and there's a concept for like a TV. Well, I don't know if it'll be on broadcast, but a show that I wanted
Mhm.
to be a host of, and that was kind of a concept where I would be a host, similar to like a Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs, Jesse
Mhm.
James, Monster Garage meets Bear Grylls, Running Wild, kind of compressed all into one type
Right.
of guy. And because I'm able and capable of all those three things, Mike Rowe basically goes around and features different jobs that people have throughout the
Right.
world that may not be the most exciting and glamorous, but he gets in there and does the thing. So in that aspect, I would simply be a host and bring the audience along. Hey, we're going to go and we're going to see this guy or this person or this woman and what they do and how they do it, and then maybe learn from them because maybe they're an expert in that field and they're going to teach
Right.
us what to do. And I would have a guest or two. And then when it came to like a monster garage type scenario where it came to actually building something or I physically know how to do all those things. I can weld and fabricate,
Mhm.
and I've done that for years. And then when it came to like survival stuff, again, uh,
Yeah.
I know a few things about stuff, and if I didn't, we would bring on a survival specialist. And so all
Right.
those kind of, I guess, all those, them little, I guess, subject matters between the micro type thing and all kind of condensed. And I wanted to call it the gun show and just be like, hey guys, it's me.
Oh, I love it.
Welcome to the gun show. Today we have a special guest, and she is from wherever, and she is an expert in this field. And today she's going to teach us what to do because I don't know how to do it. And my guest, who is this person, guy or girl, is from wherever, and they do this, and we're going to do. But the concept is where I would try to, I guess, parlay some of
Mhm.
my recognition that the industry has provided me. But obviously uh, from the industry, we have, I don't want to say a bit of a stigma, but there
Oh,
is a bit of a
yeah, we do.
there's a bit of a I don't know, it's a questionable something that the mainstream world and whatnot, how they appear and how they look at us and how we appear to them, you know. So
There's definitely a stigma.
yeah,
I think, in my opinion, they look at triple X stars as I think maybe not being having other talents. Like your
Yeah,
only talent is getting naked on screen.
sure, sure.
Like
No,
you don't have a brain.
exactly, right? Which is funny because if you really delve into a lot of the players and the people that are, you discover there's quite a bit of people that you'd never even could suspect to have that background of a doctor, a PhD, or a scientist, or a thing, or what. It's unbelievable. Just they,
I know.
just what's synonymous is that we all have a bit of a sexual, uh, you know, uh, I don't say appetite, but I guess you have to have that sexual appetite and be sexual in capacity to want to pursue that, and that would be
Yeah.
makes
When I graduated college at 44 as a social worker, I never thought I'd be doing triple X full
right.
time.
I mean, that's amazing, right? So there's that.
But I use those skills in my job,
Yeah,
also as a podcaster.
totally. Well, if
So,
in the event in developing the show, the gun show concept, there will be no conversation of what I've done. It'll just be, wait a minute,
right.
I know that guy from somewhere, and they'll say, that's it. He he's that guy, and I'll just be in another setting as a host,
Right.
and I think it'll work because I hope it'll work. It makes sense that it would work because in society, whenever I'm out in public, which is often, unless I'm here stuck
Mhm.
in the quiet place of the house in Colorado, I get recognized all the time, and it's mostly very good. Like, oh my God, you're my hero, and you do this, and you do that, and you do this, and you do that, and I think, well, if I could just parlay that persona of
Mhm.
being most guys' heroes, like, man, you're my, you know, and then be on a show and having that, being able to have that ability to uh, have the audience want to follow me into this next
Mhm.
world of doing that.
Yeah.
So maybe, so that's kind of, uh,
I think you would be highly successful. What do you think um people misunderstand about you the most?
well, I think what they is going back to what you just said. Maybe basically,
Yeah.
here's a guy who does that. Maybe that's, he's got one dimension. That's really all you can do.
Right.
And I'm like, well, no. And then, we peel back the layers and they go, oh my God, he can do all these great things. And
Right.
and it's authentic and actual, it's an actual ability and talent. And
Mhm.
the adult, the adult thing was kind of, the adult thing was kind of to, I don't want to say scratch an itch that I had, but I liked it, I wanted to act, and I liked uh, the small, the fact that it was like a small Hollywood, our world,
Yeah.
because
Right.
at the end of the day, uh, it's still entertainment, and it's still a product that we're developing and making, and the acting and
Mhm.
the wardrobe and the tragically, a lot of those big movies have kind of been a thing of the past, and we're not doing them anymore, unfortunately. So
That's the thing. I've had a lot of, I say the legendary icons like yourself come on and talk about how Triple X has evolved.
sure,
And, some of the performers, the times they're saying the times of the big production, like being in the studio or being on set and just that energy is missing. Do you feel that as well as it's transitioned to more, fan site type of thing?
I do. I if I could, I guess if I could describe what I think has taken place over the years, is that there was once upon a time, in order to come see us, you had to physically get in the car and drive and fly or go to that place where we would be In
Right.
order to get
AVN.
face to face interaction with your favorite star or actor or actress and whatnot, and that would be typically go to Vegas
Mhm.
or some of these conventions throughout the
Right.
country, and you go there and you stand in line and you meet your favorite actor or actress or whatnot. But then social media came into the picture, and it made accessibility possible. Next thing you know, you can actually have dialogue and reach out to one of your stars, or and have some conversation if you were, and then uh, the big movies kind of suffered because of a thing called pirating, and pirating is a tragic thing
Mm.
because you know an unknown whoever would take and pirate this movie, this content that was developed, and it had a price tag in order to make it, and they would simply take that and put it on a tube site or put it somewhere else, get traffic, and
Yeah.
that's what really kind of uh, was a very tough impact on the business because a lot of people suffered from that. Other people
Right.
gained. Other people gained, but it was the wrong people. And then through that activity, it put the adult industry in a bad uh, business uh, uh, position, if
Like a
you
bad
will.
light. Yeah.
Not in a bad
Yeah.
light, but in a bad position financially. And then the people who stole and pirated all that stuff made a fortune off the traffic, made a bunch of money, and then bought those companies that they actually to almost bled to death. And now it's like some monopoly that they own everything.
Right. Right.
And nobody wants to think about how that happened because they're not aware
Mhm.
of it. They just they're on
Yeah.
the set now. They've come to the scene, onto the adult scene. They don't know the past 20 or
Mhm.
X amount of years and the ongoings and what took place. And now,
Yeah.
well, here and now, what's happened is uh, the adult context, the content and whatnot, anyone can make it from
Mhm.
their privacy of their own home now. So it used to
Right.
be this concentrated pool of an industry, and now it's so diluted and spread out that you could be anywhere, a housewife in wherever, and that's good because hey, why not? But it
Right.
took away some of the pizzazz and the cachet and the marquee, glitz of, and now,
I was gonna say the glamour and the glitz.
yeah,
Yes.
and
The glamour
now
and the
there is no
glitz.
such thing. Well, the term will always be, but you know how how what's behind it? Who knows? The term porn star. I mean, there once upon
Right.
a time were porn stars, but not anymore because now they're just content creators and influencers or whatever. And again,
Right.
so be it. That's an evolutionary step in whatever direction. But now
Right.
now here we have that, and uh, who knows what's next? What's next is kind of, well, I know what's next, and we're witnessing it. We're witnessing this technology, and it's called AI, and it's got to be
Oh yeah.
scary in some capacity. The fact that here we are as humans, and I feel like sometimes
Mhm.
it's kind of like that excerpt out of the movie Jurassic Park by Jeff Goldblum says. He says just because he says something along the lines of, just because you could do it doesn't mean you should. Do you ever think of that? Maybe you
Right.
shouldn't develop this artificial intelligence. Because think about this:
Right.
when has something that's not as intelligent ruled over something that was more intelligent?
Gotcha.
Never, right? So here we are thinking, let's invent this artificial intelligence, and next thing you know,
Yeah.
it gets out of control in whatever capacity, and you got your, again, people say, "Oh, that'll never happen." You got your Terminator type of, uh, you know, Terminator type of, thing that unfolds. And
Yeah.
the next thing you know, we're all scratching our chins, looking at each other like, "How did this happen?" How it happened is we didn't know when to quit, and now, you know,
Yeah.
the genie's out of the bottle.
You talk You talk about a not intelligent thing over a more intelligent. I just wanted to make a political joke out of my head, but I won't.
Yeah, right. And so
I was like, oh, there's a political joke in here, but I'm going to keep my mouth
right,
shut.
right. And uh, so again, you know,
Yeah.
who knows what we're going to
Yeah.
witness, and how will artificial intelligence affect the adult industry and that content, because it could easily just by a prompt when it says, have a man and a woman in a sexual act, and it creates this visual image, and
Right.
maybe they're not identifiable by any stretch because they might look like someone or not, and I can't tell you who they are, but to the
Right.
eye,
Right.
it looks like, oh, that's good enough material to you know uh, get your juices flowing, so to speak. And the next thing you know,
Right. Get your
you
rock.
don't need actors. And then even in the real Hollywood, are they going to
Yep.
use that in order to write? And the next thing you know, writers go out of business and lawyers are gone, and then anybody
Right.
who's in that, unless you're a hands-on physical person that fixes machinery or whatnot, you might still have a job. But there's going to be a lot of changes, and obviously we witnessed a bit of the strike, white writer strike, and SAG, and all that, and how's AI going to affect
Mm-hmm.
that? I don't know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it can't be
Yeah.
disregarded like, oh, that'll never happen. I mean, because
Right.
you know,
You talk about the AI and pretty much like taking away the need for physical bodies,
sure,
you know, and also talking about diluting, the quality of content to some degree. It's like they kind of go hand in hand.
yeah. So it'll be interesting, and uh, again, there's a number of individuals who've voiced their opinion. Like one, obviously,
Right.
Elon Musk is an interesting guy, and he's already worried. He's already said it's too late, man. He's like, it's concerning. It's concerning, and I
Yeah.
mean, you know, again, we've
It is.
witnessed movies that depict what happens in that kind of scenario, and maybe, yeah, sure, it's just a movie, but the fact that us as a human, race, and we're conjuring up these concepts about a movie that happens, is maybe that's,
Yeah.
you know what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, Back to the Future,
You know,
that's
not to
that's what
something.
they say.
Yeah, who knows?
So, one thing I like to watch, I think Tommy Gunn is a very complex person. And I want to talk about some tweets
Sure.
that I've seen on your Twitter timeline and just
Okay.
kind of talk to you about those.
All right.
And I I had 3 of them that I wanted to read
Sure.
and kind of chat. So this was one that I had. Uh, you said one of the biggest difficulties from being in the industry for so long or even at all is when I'm in public and I see a woman who I think is beautiful and I'm thinking, maybe I should go and introduce myself and say hello. I remember that in today's world, that's probably not going to go over well, especially me approaching her and attempting to engage in conversation. Then I also think I'm a porno guy. And if it ever even got to a place in the conversation, I couldn't lie if she asked me what I do. Then my response would probably be the conversation ender. I don't think civilian women would be open to that. Who knows? Remember, people, the business is forever, even if you only do it for a while, it never goes away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that leads me to believe that you have experienced that.
Yeah. I have. Well, we'll start at the front of the we'll start at the front of the tweet. In today's society, even just eye contact is strange. People get like, "What? Someone's looking at me. Oh my god."
Yes.
Let's start there. So, and then let's just say, you know, uh, just candid conversation. Even today is
Mhm.
considered.
Mhm.
Whoa. I'm not. I'm not. trying to be talking to someone right now. So you got those things already, right? And then, you know,
Right.
I don't I don't want to say I look uh like some bad guy or anything, but I got the facial hair and the hat's backwards or whatever and stuff, and maybe I have, you know, a presence about myself or something. I don't know. I've been told I was intimidating, and I said, "Oh, I don't see that." But anyway, imagine me in some social setting in a grocery store, and
Right.
hey, hi, what's your name? That would be what somebody might go, oh, hey, well, where's this going? And just be like, turn around and go the other way, right? So that's what happens. And it's funny because I remember I was in the local Walmart here, and I saw this beautiful woman, and I thought, damn, you know, and I thought, if you don't try, you'll never,
Right.
you have to say something. But I didn't, because it's like maybe I've cultivated this defeatist mentality in respect with that type of context of that situation, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I said, "Hey, hi, what's your name?" Oh, look at them. You got. Where did you get? What do you even start to say
Right. Right.
in today's world? Hey, hi. I just couldn't help notice how pretty you were, and I thought I would just say hi. What? I'm pretty? How dare you? Get away from me.
Right. Because you're right though, because 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you probably could have said that,
Sure.
and today's society, it could be offensive.
It's
Yeah.
because we've been through so many evolutions of
Hmm.
things in society. Uh, Me Too, consent. Uh, how dare you even acknowledge me as a woman? Uh, you know, you look like one. God forbid I say, hey, how are you? I just wanted to say I thought you were pretty and introduce myself. Pretty? I'm not. I don't know. It's scary because you don't know. You don't even know where you stand in this world to acknowledge and have conversation with anyone. And then imagine I managed to get through that first couple things, and then she says, "Yeah, I'm this, that, and the other." And I says, "Well, it'd be great to, I'm local, and I guess you're shopping here." Do I say, "Are you?" I don't see a ring on your finger, because if I did, I wouldn't pursue anymore. I would stop, and I'd have respect, and I'd say thanks and nice to meet you, and hopefully, have a great life. Whatever. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm so.
So,
I feel like I'm so in in such a place where I don't even know how to navigate normal life. And then if she said,
so
"No,"
this tweet was more. So this tweet came more from a position of I don't know how to start the conversation versus I do porn. That's where I was kind of going
yeah,
with it.
well, absolutely. And then let's say I got to that point, and then she's like, "So what do you do for?" Well, I might as well say I kill people for a living. And they would go, "Well, that's enough here, conversation," and walk away. Because if I said, "Well, I'm in the adult industry and I'm an actor and you know, well, what do you mean exactly?" Well, I I portray a
Bang
role in a
people.
I portray a role in a movie, given a name. I've got dialogue and wardrobe, and I'm on a set, and then eventually in my activities, and I perform a sexual act on camera in front of 30 people, and we film it, and eventually it's edited into a scene, and it comes out in a movie, and you watch it at home or whatever. Oh, that's enough. Or, wow, I'm interested, but I just don't see the likeliness of that, saying, wow, that would be great. I don't know. Or
So do you feel that
maybe she's like, oh, I got
do
my
you
own
feel that
or something. Who knows? Say again.
if someone was put off by that, then maybe that's not the person for you?
Well, I know that.
See, I've lost family members. I've lost my son over being in this business. I've lost
I know.
friends.
Yeah.
But um so my attitude has kind of been as on the friend thing.
Sure.
Well, those weren't the people I wanted to be around anyway.
I realized,
So how do you feel about that?
well, you still got to find that out.
Yeah.
It has to
Yeah.
unfold, and then there's that moment, and then you determine, oh, I guess another one's just unagreeable with what I do, and they got their own ethics and morals, and think I'm this, that, or the other. One of the things that we are is tragically is we're viewed as kind of almost misfits in some capacity. It's like we're viewed as like these undesirables. Like, you're one of those. What does that even
Hmm.
mean? I'm confused. Yet you recognize me, which is funny because you must have watched something in order to know who I am or something. I don't know. So it's very, again, it's so I don't know if I'd answered your question correctly or so.
It's a complex question.
Yeah, and
Okay, I want to quote another one.
that's why we call them civilians. They're civilians,
That's right.
and we're not, and we.
Kind of like we're in the military together. This one said, I wonder how many people are quietly in love with someone yet too scared to say anything. Are you quietly in love with someone, Tommy?
Uh,
I'm going to ask the question.
I might have an eye for them, but then it reverts back to the first tweet, and then I go, well, you know, what's the point in exposing myself and only to discover, well, yeah, sorry, but you know, you do what you do, and you're that guy, or maybe someone from a distance likes me, and they're not willing to say something, and who knows? And plus, again, here we are in this. We just went through the most craziest thing we've ever been through as a human race, COVID and all that stuff, and it's gotten everybody freaked out, and nobody wants to do anything, and so I think that's even magnified our awkwardness as a society. Even want to engage or be, you know. So you see
Do you
somebody.
approach it expecting rejection versus expecting acceptance?
I do, because 9 out of 10 times, if not 10 out of 10 times, it's not going anywhere. And again, I've been in the business 20 years, and I've tried multiple times to have relationships, and it's within the industry. It's even as difficult, or to you know, I've experienced in the business overhearing women in the business say, "These damn male talents, I would never be with any of them," and then in the same sentence, hear the same from a male talent saying, "These damn female talents, I would never be with any of them." So who is there to be
Mm-hmm.
with if you can't be with one in your own industry or you're in the real world?
Right.
You're fucking doomed, or maybe not.
Okay.
Because they all have their
Interesting.
opinions, and it's not. I'm not. I'm not ganging up on either side, females in the business or the males in the business, but I thought we were supposed to be like family in some capacity. I think we got a better chance in the industry being with each other and having that relatability and being able to put ourselves in those other people's shoes. Like, oh, I get it. I understand. And I've been married in the business. I've been married outside of the business. I've had multiple girlfriends in the business, and it's tough. And then it's even tougher just normally in any normal setting in the
I was
outside
just gonna
world.
say, yeah, relationships are a lot of work.
And
They're a lot of work.
but that's the you just hit the nail on the head. It's work.
To overcome and adapt.
I agree.
Because as you know, we're as a society, we're going to
Sure.
progress.
Up into that
So
up into that point where it doesn't sustainable anymore. Again, will we be alive for that? I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know either. Tommy, if you could go back and give your 18-year-old self or 27-year-old self one piece of advice, knowing what you do now, what would it be?
If I could go back and give my 18 or 20 advice, I would say try everything. Fail miserably. Time is gone. Time is ticking right now. Hurry up and do something because everyone gets to be young, but not everyone gets to be old.
That's true. Are there things that you regret not trying?
Yeah, there could have been that thing I should have said to that person that I can't now, or that thing I should have tried that I can't now, or that button I should have pushed when I was going to buy 10 Bitcoins 3 or 5 years ago. And I said, nah, I'm going to wait. And I didn't. Problem is that if you're a human, you'll always have regret, period. It just comes with you know, you buy the ticket, you take the ride, and you're going to have some regret and some reservations and some second thoughts and some. So if I could tell my 18-year-old self, what I think I'd tell him really is take care of your physical body. You only have one.
Yep.
Don't drive it like a rent-a-car, like you stole it and you're jumping up curbs and shit.
Don't drive it like you stole it.
You know what I mean? Because you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
Your back's going to kill. Your knees are going to be screwed up. Your hip, you're going to get a hip replacement and all these things. Because I did all those things. I did BMX and motorcycles and jumps and crashed and should have been dead 5 times over. Honest to God. He's like, yeah, I know, because I saved you 5 times. And I'm like, well, thank you, because I appreciate it. But so
I think people our age, though, as the show comes to a close here, I think about the stupid,
yeah,
like partying with my girlfriends when you're 18 or 19, you just get into this carload with a bunch of guys and you go up into the hills
yeah,
and you're drinking, and you do that now and you're coming home in a body bag. I mean,
you're
it's
not
a
home. Yeah,
possibility.
you're not coming home. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in the country, very remote, and just different things, having guns around, and
Yeah,
I grew up around all that stuff,
yeah,
where now it's very different. But
yeah.
I've really enjoyed getting to know you,
You're,
and chatting.
I think you're missing the third tweet though. You only covered 2. That's what there should be one more.
Well, I did, but you kind of covered it. Oh, you listened.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. The third one I had screenshot was one that you just did a couple days ago. And it was about intimacy. Intimacy is the buy-in for this industry, the price you pay.
Okay.
It's what you give up to sit at the table and play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, you'll get lots of sex, all kinds, but it's going to cost you. Those moments that you would typically share with someone special, someone you love and care about. How many are sleeping in bed alone tonight, or in bed alone again tonight, reading this, missing intimacy? Good night, everyone. Hang in there. It can be a lonely gig.
Yeah, because
You kind of covered that when we talked about the first
yeah,
tweet.
yeah. It's unfortunate, but you leverage, and that was my biggest fear. I started the business at 36. I certainly wasn't no 19-year-old kid, 18, whatever. I had lived a life. 36 is not. It's not old, but it's not young either. So at 36, when I got into the business, I kind of got into business for a couple of reasons, of which one of them was I was lonely. I had a couple of relationships. I had been married. I had a divorce, and I was missing the female interaction. And I thought to myself, someone had presented me with this opportunity to business. I said, okay, tell me about it. Well, obviously you know what it's about. It's kind of self-explanatory. There's the acting and the stuff, and then there's the sexual part. And I go, oh, I like that part, right? I enjoy, right? And then after that, they pay you. And I go, oh, that's cool too, right? And I said, well, I had been divorced, and I said, I'll never do that again. I'm never going to be in vulnerable place, and I'm never going to let my heart be, hurt. So this business works. I'm thinking I can get the sex, and they'll pay me, and then I got a lot of time left in the day, and I can tend to my hobbies and my interests. And I'll put my heart in a safe place. It won't be involved. It's not involved. I just show up and I go, hi, what's your name? Oh, Susan. Hi, Susan. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from here. Great. What do you like and what do you not like? I don't like this. I don't like that. I like this and I like that. Oh, great. I love those things too. Great. let's put these clothes on, you two. We're going to say these words. We're going to act like this, and then we'll have some sex. And it'll be just like a tennis game. Hey, man, that was a great tennis game. Great game. I like it because it was like a handshake. It didn't have to be anything more. And it was like, hey, that was a great game. I love the backhand. You're really doing a great job on that. I'll see you next time down the road. Oh, okay, great. I'll see you. Now I'm at home or wherever I'm at, out in the woods, fishing. I got a pocket full of money and I had my little release. I got to touch this girl and enjoy her. And in my mind, pretend she was mine for 45 minutes. Kiss, go away. And now, but what I forgot or what I didn't realize was I was leveraging this cherishable moment that we all, you know, hope for with somebody who can love us. And intimacy is not sex to me. It's not at all. Intimacy for me is being able to stand before someone in whatever condition you are and then accept you and say, you're safe with me based upon all your fucking bruises and cuts and faults and quirks and all these other things. To me, that's intimacy. You stand before that person and they accept you, and sure, there's sex, but that's intimacy is so much more. It's
It's a connection,
and it's knowing somebody's deepest, darkest, whatever they are, and saying that's okay.
right?
I accept you for that. You're safe with me. I'm not going to hurt you by knowing your whatever you call them.
Yeah,
Some people use them
darkest
against
secrets
you.
or
Some people know your things and they use them against you sometime down the road when it's perfect timing or there's a fight. Oh yeah, this, that, and the other, and you're going, wait a minute. I thought we were safe. I thought I was safe with you. Now you're bringing that up or something. So now, 20 years later, I feel like it's true. I leveraged my intimacy for this lifestyle, and it's been great, and it's afforded me a wonderful life, financially, spiritually, in a lot of capacities. But I still yearn for that intimacy. And
have you given up on finding love?
I haven't given up, but what I realized is that I know what I want, and I know what I don't want, and I'm trying to navigate that still myself in order to be able to find that synergy with somebody or whatever. So
You'll find it.
Myself too. Still, like, oh God, and this and whatever. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, should I, find somebody that's out of the business? I've tried that before, and it's like treated me like I was some leper.
Leper. I was just going to say that word. Gosh, we're showing our age here.
Yeah. And then in the business, you see somebody you got your eye on. I'm 20 years in the business. I'm not as excited as I was when I first started because I know the game.
Right.
I know the game. But when somebody's new and they come in and they're all like, I want to go here and I want to fuck that guy and this girl and this, I want to fuck all these people and I want to work for all these companies. And I see them on set and I go, hi, what's your name? Oh, hi, nice to meet you. And I think, oh man, she's so focused on all these other things. The last thing she wants to do is settle down with some guy or maybe even kind of split the time between the two.
Yeah. You'll find the right one.
It's not really. It's a lot of people say you gotta stop looking, and I'm not. I said I'm not looking. I'm existing. And when you need a job, what do? You sit on the couch at home and wait? No. If you're interested in finding some companionship and fellowship, you can't be on the couch sitting at home waiting. You got to get up and make it known. But then, oh, you're trying too hard.
Damned if you don't.
No, like you're desperate. I'm not desperate. But then if you say it, you're desperate. And if you're quiet, you're conceited. And if you're happy,
who cares what they say anyway?
I know.
Who cares what they say?
I know, right?
You know, when you turn 50, you're giving away.
You know, I just don't care.
Oh, well, it's been good to talk with you. Where can people find you? What's your Twitter? Where can people follow you?
My Twitter is at TommyGunnXXX. Tommy Gunn Triple.
Awesome. Do you have Instagram?
I do. That is THEE, the Tommy Gunn, TommyGunn. And that's really about it. I got a Facebook. It's Tommy Gunn. And
thank you again, Tommy, for being on the show. This has been a fun conversation.
Yeah.